Hello, welcome to the Liberating Multitasker. Today I thought I'd bring you along for a little bit of a harvest. I have some peppers I need to pick and some strawberries. At least that's my goal. I don't always have the equipment I need to bring you along with the things I do in the garden. So you've completely missed me pruning and tying up my tomatoes. I wish I could have videoed that. That probably would have been a little bit of comic relief since I was having to climb inside my raised beds. First, let me give you just a quick update on my garden. You see my tomatoes are growing out the top of my raised bed. Those are Cherokee purples. Here's my celery that's doing just fine. These are the Marconi peppers that I put in the garlic bed. Here are more Cherokee purples, brandywines, some paste tomatoes. Some of these do not look great, but they do have fruit on them. Here are jalapenos. I've already harvested some from them, but I'll probably be getting more today. The poblanos are in the back. This is the side of the tomato plants that aren't looking great, but they do have fruit on them. You can see I have tied some of them to the rail to help hold the stakes upright. So I'm pretty much, my lettuces that I'm cutting and growing is pretty much done. Some of it's going to flower, so I'll probably pull that and give to the chickens. Here's my red bell peppers that's not turned yet. Here are my Marconi peppers. This is about the size. I'm going to go ahead and pull these. They do get red and sweeter if you let them mature and turn red, and then it's really easy to save the seeds. But I use these in replace of bell peppers. They're not as bitter. I just like them better. See how many I have there. Look how pretty these are. Those are my largest ones. Gonna let the others continue to grow. We have 7 Marconi peppers, and they're great size. I just wanted you to see those before I check on the jalapenos. Poppers. So this is about the size I would like for them to be. See this, how wider that is? It makes them easier to stuff. That is a great stuffing jalapeno. These are monster jalapenos. I was not able to find the mammoth jalapenos this year. So I got 9 good size monster jalapenos. I'm going to go ahead and let these gates down. My husband built these to help keep the chickens out of my strawberry and blueberry beds. They were scratching around and exposing the roots, and so we had to keep them out. So I have 2 containers, one for me and one for the chickens. So when I pick strawberries, I pick all of the berries, bad or good. The bad ones go into the chicken container and the good ones I keep. So I usually touch all of the plants. The strawberries will hide, and so I try to touch all the plants, move them around, so I make sure I get all of the right berries. These beds are 6 foot wide, so I have to pick from both sides and do a bit of stretching. So if you're building berry beds, I would not recommend 6 feet wide. It's a little too wide for comfortable picking. Now my berries are not the largest, but they are so tasty. There's something to be said when you picking fruit. As it's ripe on the vine, it just has much more flavor. So you see there, I have some bad ones. I have roly-polies in my garden, and so I do not spray my strawberries. And so whatever the roly-polies attack, the chickens get those. In the fall, I normally put straw around my strawberry plants so that when the strawberries produce, they're not laying in the dirt and rot. And that does help keep me from losing strawberries to rot. So here are the strawberries that I gathered. Here's my first raspberry. And then I have some blackberries that I need to pick. Next, I'm going to show you my baby chicks. They're now 12 weeks old, 5 hens and 2 roosters. I just threw them some strawberries and they're loving them. I'm going to go ahead and feed and water my big chicks, and then we'll process the strawberries. I'm just going to wash these off really well and let them drain. And then I'm going to lay them out on a tea towel and let them dry. I try to do just a single layer so they can dry really well. This also lets me double check to see if I have any that I need to put aside for the chickens. Blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries are all about the same. This is what I do. Now I'm going to wash the peppers and also lay them out on a tea towel. I'm really pleased with these peppers. I hope to grow a lot this year just because I lost the ones I froze last year. These Marconi peppers are my favorite. Just laying them all out in a single layer and let them dry before we go to the next step. Doing the jalapenos the same way. This is the easiest thing to preserve these. Next, I'm going to show you how I handle my strawberries. You can just cut the tops off your strawberries. You can also hull them with nothing but a straw. It's super easy. When I prepare them for freezing, I do them both ways. Sometimes I hull them with the straw, sometimes I just cut the tops off. And there you have it. I'll stick them in my container, put the lid on, put them in the freezer, and then later I'll put them in bags. The blackberries, I'm just making sure there's no bad spots, putting them whole in my container to also put in the freezer. It is that easy to freeze your berries. Now freezing peppers are also super easy. I'm just going to cut the top off of this, de-seed it, split it down the middle, and then slice it. I have a video I did earlier about how to freeze bell peppers, and so I will link that above because they're pretty much the same. Now since these peppers are longer than the bell peppers, I will cut them in half again before I slice them and do a single layer on my pan with wax paper between. You flash freeze them and then bag them. It is that simple. Now next I'm going to be doing jalapeno peppers, and so what I do with those is I'm going to core them and then I'll cut them in half and flash freeze them that way. I want to try to do jalapeno poppers with these and see how they hold up after they're frozen. Now some of the other produce that I like to preserve by freezing are peas and corn. Let me know what some of your favorites are. Now these are ready to put in the freezer to flash freeze, and then all I have to do is bag them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.